Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is defending his upcoming speech before Congress next week. In a radio interview this morning, Netanyahu says his speech about the Iranian nuclear threat is critical because Iran's ruler, quote, calls for the destruction of the Jewish state, and they plan on doing it with nuclear weapons. Congresswoman Marcia Fudge is a Democrat from Ohio, the former chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus. And Congresswoman, thank you for being here. And I want to Thank you. And I want to go through these three issues very quickly, starting with DHS. There does seem to be some movement now taking place in the House of Representatives. Are you confident, as a member of the House, that a funding bill, at least a short-term funding bill, will pass before the deadline tonight?
Joy, I'm very confident something is going to pass tonight. The Senate has actually gone home. So they have said to the House of Representatives, you must pass a spending bill. And I do believe we're going to pass one. I don't know if it's going to be a short term or if it's going to be a long term, which is the same thing that the Senate passed this morning. And that is my guess. It is going to be a long term and not a short term bill. And
does John Boehner have the strength to pass a bill? And is he still insisting on it being a majority of the majority, or will he wind up having to come to your party, come to Democrats?
I believe he is going to have to come to us. There's no question in my mind that part of the delay we've had today is because they don't have enough votes to pass it. And so I am confident that we are going to be a full participant in making sure that DHS is funded today.
And I want to ask about the Bibi Netanyahu, the Benjamin Netanyahu speech that is still scheduled before a joint session of Congress. Many Democrats saying they're not going, and a lot of members of the Congressional Black Caucus really led the charge to stay away from, I know it's not being called a boycott, but to stay away from the speech. What do you make of the fact that it's still going forward? Do you believe that it's long-term harmful to Israeli-U.S. relations?
I think it's long-term harmful. I really do, because I think that there has never been an issue about Israel that has divided this House the way that this speech has divided this House. All of us, including myself, are strong supporters of Israel, and I think that it was just a bad, calculated move on the part of Bibi, as well as, obviously, on the part of John Boehner, to do this at a time when we are negotiating a deal that we think is going to be good, not just for Israel, but for our country and the other countries involved. I think it's poor timing. I think it's ill-planned, and I think it's a huge, huge mistake.
Yeah. Lastly, Attorney General Eric Holder has said he believes the standards for bringing a federal civil rights prosecution are too high and that Congress should change the law. What do you make of that?
I think he's absolutely right. I think that until we actually get a handle on how we can address some of the issues like a Ferguson, like Cleveland, like Dayton, and some of the others, I think that we're going to continue to find ourselves where we are now, which is kind of with our hands tied.
Yeah. And on that matter, we do know that the Senate is going to eventually consider the full nomination of Loretta Lynch, the other body across the road. What do you make of the fact that she has been questioned on some issues when she did seem to have sort of a clean way to go through, but that she is still being held to account over things like immigration, things like property seizures? Do you expect, looking from, I guess, from the outside looking in a sense, because it is the Senate, that she will sail through when her nomination comes forward?
I believe her nomination will pass, because I think that there are enough people in the Senate who understand her qualifications and her real temperament to be the Attorney General of the United States. I do believe she will pass. I just hope that it is sooner than later.
All right, Congresswoman Marcia Fudge.
Listen, Joy, can I just say this before I go? I want you to know that you are the best. You are a consummate professional. You are a gifted journalist and a great person. God bless.
Thank you very much. And I would say the same about you. You're an outstanding person as well, and it's been great to get to know you in covering Congress over this past year. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Fudge. Appreciate it. All right.